John Santucci from TCPalm. We are here with Dennis Money Picks Jacob. We are here at Fort Pierce Central High School for PrepZone on the road. And they don't know to clap, so Central, make some noise. I said Central, right? All right, they'll figure it out. I shouldn't have told them to do that. Quarterback Dan Vaughn, don't call him Sam, and Coach Brad Paulson. I'm going to turn this off. All right, so guys, big game this week. Showdown. Dennis, let me ask you before we get to these guys, is this the biggest rivalry on the Treasure Coast Showdown, Westwood Central?
I think right now it is, just because it's been played for so long, and it's only missed 2 games because of the Hurricanes in 04 and 05. Otherwise, this would be number 40, as it is. It's number 38.
All right, so Showdown 38. Dennis, your guesstimation, which has been the best one?
Oh, the best one by far was the 2010 game, in which both teams were undefeated 8-0. The first time, only time in area history that 2 8-0 teams have met. And Westwood won that game in dramatic fashion, scoring in, I think, the final minute, or very close to the final minute, for a 22-21 win. But as I must point out, it has been all Fort Pierce Central since then.
Absolutely. Westwood has not won this series since 2010. You were probably a ball boy for that game, right?
Yeah.
What do you remember about that game?
I think I was in the stands, actually. I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I just remember it was, 10,000, 12,000 people, and it was just a great atmosphere, and just a great game.
Okay, you're a pretty smart kid, right?
I think so.
2010, if you were in 8th grade, you're like a 5th-year senior, 7th-year senior. You sure you were in 7th grade?
I might have been 6.
Okay. What does it mean to play Westwood? Your brother played in this game. What's it mean to play against?
Well, playing it last year, gives you it's a great atmosphere, a great environment. It's 2 Fort Pierce teams. The whole city's there. It's just, it's a great feeling to have everybody watching.
Coach, same question for you. Your first time as the head coach in this game. What was the atmosphere like last year?
It was outstanding. I think just the energy and vibe we have in the city, and getting everybody together for this showdown is fantastic. We're excited to play a game, and we've been off for a long time. And being Westwood, it adds more to the flavor of what's going on. But we're excited to get out there and play football. It's been a long time for us. Our guys are ready, and we're very excited. You
haven't played a full game since August 25th?
That's correct.
And it's now the 20th, so you're looking at a whole month.
Well, we had 3 minutes versus South Fork, so we played a little bit. But
so you're looking at a whole month. How difficult has this been for you, just getting on a schedule?
Well, honestly, it worked out okay with the. For us, offensively and defense, we've had 3 different game plans. We've had a South Fork game plan, a Martin County game plan, then a South Fork game plan we thought for a day, and now on to Westwood. So our kids have a good volume of things going on. They practice extremely well. The focus has been there, and they're just ready to go.
Coach, what is it that, I know it's a short time for you being exposed to this rivalry, but what makes it so special in your mind?
Well, I think the overall pride of both schools in the town, it shows. I mean, we see it. Especially in football, they've talked about this game obviously all summer. Everybody in town talks about this game, and having obviously familiarity with their staff, teachers on both sides, it's been amazing, and it means so much to the community in both sides of Fort Pierce.
Is there how hard is it to game plan, because you don't have a ton of film on them?
Well, it is. I mean, it's a little guesstimation. We have some familiarity with both sides because our coordinators were here last year, so we know them a little well. Obviously, Coach McGoran and Coach Matthews, familiarity with them, what they do, their scheme-wise. So we have some idea going in, but you don't know if the ball's actually kicked off and we get going, what's going to happen on both sides of the ball. But we have a pretty good idea, we think, hopefully, what's going to happen.
Dan, let me ask you, just grab both of those. What do you see as the key for you guys offensively?
I think just getting out to a good start. And finishing in the red zone, converting on 3rd downs, just doing little things and getting out ahead and making sure it's not a dogfight.
Last time you played was August, and you guys got some momentum going in the second half. It's hard to carry over momentum for a month. So did you learn some things, though, about your offense? Did you figure some things out in the second half that season opener?
Yeah, definitely. I felt like we moved the ball well all game. Again, the problem was just in the red zone, finishing drives, and just staying focused throughout the drive.
Like you said, your brother played in this game, had some big games against Westwood. Is there an added pride thing of we want to keep this streak going, or is it just we want to play a game and they're the next guy out?
A little bit of both. Definitely, you're excited to play the game, but it always means more when it's Westwood, and it always means more the showdown. So we're ready to get on the field, ready to play, just in general.
Done.
Dan, when you shut out a team 6 years in a row like you guys have with Westwood, is there ever a concern about being overconfident or just expecting a shutout, or is each year its own separate? You can separate the previous years and say this is a new chapter.
I think it is a little difficult, just because it has been a dominant series on our end. But I think everybody will be focused on Saturday morning, and we won't be worried about last year, the year before that at all.
How about playing on Saturday morning? That's not something that happens every season for anybody.
Yeah, it's a little different, but we get an extra day to prepare, an extra practice, and they're in the same boat. So it's going to come down to who's more conditioned and who's more focused that morning.
Coach, let me ask you this, if you can hand those over. Interesting scenario today. Westwood's playing a makeup game today. You guys have more time to practice. You can go scout them. I'm guessing you will. Would you rather be the team getting that extra game in, or would you rather be able to scout them longer? Where do you stand on that?
Well, it's went both ways for us. We thought initially we were going to play South Fork this week. They played Westwood instead, so it kind of was flipped a little bit. But knowing the weekend and having practice Thursday and Friday, I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It'd been great to get another game in, obviously, this week. But for us, I think a day of extra preparation, kind of fine-tuning some things, probably helps us a little bit more. But there's nothing like game experience, so it's a pretty tough question to answer.
Is there a difference getting your guys prepared for this game, just because everything is always geared toward you're peaking at Friday, now you're peaking at Saturday at 10 a.m. Is there a difference in the prep at all?
Well, there's been nothing normal the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, it could be game Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For us, Saturday's just our game day, and it's going to be finally here. So we waited so long to play. I'm not sure our guys care when we kick off or what day we play, but we're just really excited to get back on the field.
Anybody disappointed about a 10 a.m. start on Saturday? No. Okay.
Good answer.
Dennis, what's your pick for this game?
Well, here's the thing. There's always the talk about playoffs and points to get to the playoffs. But I think if you go back and look at the history of high school football in Florida and everywhere else, it's rivalries that are the lifeblood. And I think it's especially true here. Westwood, I'm sure, is embarrassed at getting shut out 6 years in a row. I'm sure they're determined to turn that around. And Central obviously wants to keep that streak going as long as they can. I really like the way that Central set up its schedule. There were 2 tough games, the kickoff classic against Columbus, the opener against Delaware Valley, Pennsylvania. Both those teams reached the second round of the playoffs in their states last year. So I think Central's more battle tested, to be honest. I think the fact that they played those good teams is going to pay off. I think Westwood is definitely improved over last year, but will it be enough to finally close that gap? I look for Dan Vaughn to have a good game. I think the 2 touchdown passes they threw against Delaware Valley got the offense into a little bit of a rhythm. Now, granted, it's almost a month later, but it's still something you can build upon. Westwood, of course, has that dangerous running attack. I think Fort Pierce Central is going to have a little bit more to bring to the table at this point in the season. I don't think it'll be a shutout. Of course, I said that last year, and I was way off by 24 points. But I do think that Central wins this game 27-14.
Wow, Central 27. What do you guys think? Good? No. They don't like that. Okay.
What do you want, 27-0?
Win's a win.
Okay, 0. I hear that.
All right. You know what? I've learned something doing PrepZone on the road the last couple of years, and it's this. My kid doesn't know what he's talking about. My son, my 5-year-old son, a couple weeks ago, I said, hey, Westwood PSL, who's going to win? He said PSL. I said, would you put money on that? He said yes. He was wrong. Last year he picked Treasure Coast to beat Vero. That was incorrect. So my son last night, I said, buddy, who's going to win, the Panthers or the Cobras? He said, Panthers. So what's the score? 10-7. Just so, since he said that, Westwood's going to have to lose, unfortunately, because he always gets it wrong. Central's going to win this one 14-13, and here's what's going to happen. Westwood's going to come out fast. Central's going to play better in the second half, get the 1-point win. You want to throw the game-winning pass? Sure. All right, so put him down for a game-winning touchdown pass. 14-13, we agree. Central should win this one, but it should be another classic. That's it for us. Have a great week, and let's get some football going again, yeah?
Absolutely.
See ya.
All right, thanks. Good job, man.